Smoke them if you got them. Tennessee beats Bama. Woo! Look, 24-17, great football game. Hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Hey, all that money in Texas, where's it going? Spend it on your football. Here we go. On to this football game. Bama loses to Tennessee 24-17. Let's start with Bama. Look, Kalen DeBoer got a lot to worry about right now. A lot, right? Got a lot of heat first year. Lot to catch up on with regards to what's going on out here in this conference, the week-to-week battles, all that good stuff, They got a lot. They got a lot of stuff to clean up. But here's my solitary problem. And we can get into offense, defense, special teams. We can get into the film. We can get into all that. But here's my main thing going on right now at Alabama. They do a lot of stuff that only great teams are allowed to do. Only really, really great teams. Like the teams that they had previously under the previous coach. Great teams are allowed to talk shit when they're down and they score against Vandy. Great teams get to do that. Good teams do not get to do that. Great teams do. Great teams are allowed to have staffers walk into the opposing team's building with a cigar in his mouth amidst a rivalry football game, which is up in the air. We don't know you're going to absolutely dominate. I don't care. I don't care if the guy played there 15 decades and is 15-0 against Tennessee, ain't never as much as had a one-score game against the Volunteers. Don't give a shit. You are not a great enough team to just walk in with that kind of optics. Great teams are allowed to do that. Good teams are not. Great teams are allowed to have wide receivers out here looking like they shooting jump shots on fourth and quarterback sneaks. Great teams are allowed to do that. Good teams are not. All right, good teams get shit on optically when they do these things. Social media makes fun of them. You have to earn the right to do these things. And look, it goes both ways. I come out here, they beat Georgia, and I come on this network and I say, man, that's the most confident team in football. Alabama is. That is the most. They come out here, they know they're the show. I got clips of it, me saying that. They know they're the show. And when you win and when you beat good football teams, that's what the analysis is going to sound like. Y'all are confident. Y'all are fun. Y'all are loose. Y'all play. Y'all get after it. All right? And when you don't do the things day-to-day to require to earn that sense of looseness and sense of confidence on Saturday, then you're going to lose games like this, and people are going to have criticisms for your looseness. All right? For your looseness. I had a bar at the end of this one. I see a football team that's confident and loose like a Saban-led football team, but lacks the down-to-down discipline to be out here playing like that. Period. The Kendrick Law play is a byproduct of that, right? The Kendrick Law play is brutal. I know Boo Carter hit him last. I know that. But you had the neck-jarring, attention-getting outburst of anger on a 3rd and 15 or whatever, it's an incomplete pass. All right, 3rd and 7, should have been a 4th and 7, got a chance, right? 4th and 7 got a chance. 4th and 22, snowball's chance in hell. Snowball's chance in hell. So they're doing stuff right now, down in and down out, that they have not earned the right to do, okay? I have a habit of watching one guy on special teams every single week when I go and photograph these games, right? When I go watch these games on the sideline, 9 times out of 10, if there's a play happening, I'm in the end zone, all right, and I'm watching what is apparently like basically the all-22 copy, the end zone copy, right? I'm in the end zone. Do you know how many SEC football players have snatched Dan Jackson down on his face this year on kickoff? There was one little joker from Texas that was doing it every single kickoff. Every single time he would butt up with Dan and then snatch him onto the ground and jump over the top of him and wait for him to get up and then get in his face and start talking shit. And do you know what Dan Jackson did every single time? Fixed his face mask, tightened his chin strap, walked to the defensive huddle, dapped up his teammates, and then proceeded to get ready to absolutely strike. Okay? That's a great football team that refuses to talk shit. They don't do it. All right, and you know why? Because the guy that runs that football program ran his football program and runs his football program the same way the greatest of all time did at Alabama. And there is a stark difference between the way one team is held to a discipline standard, if you will, and the way the other team just gets to play loose and have fun. And playing loose and having fun is great, but you better be winning football games doing so. You better be winning football games doing so because people are going to cook you. Now, for the actual analysis in this football game, as 1,800 people are here watching, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and subscribing, by the way. Now, for the actual analysis, Tennessee. By God, Tennessee, if y'all could hit some shots right now, you would be a great football team. You would not be a good football team that is week to week trying to find ways to win. That's what good football teams do. Bad football teams find ways to lose these games. Good football teams find ways to win tight ones, right? With defense and punting the football and protecting it, right? So that's what good football teams do. But if you could hit just one, maybe two. I think I hit 2 of the deep shots Saturday. I think I counted 2 for 5 on what I am now calling butt-ass naked routes. There he is, butt-ass naked, running down the field. Can we put it on him? No, we can't. We can't put it on him. And here's the problem. Can't overthrow these guys. When you got a guy running 2 yards down and wide ass open against a man-to-man defender or the defender's in trail technique, the last thing we can do is overthrow that guy. We can't do that. If we overthrow that guy, we lose. All right? We have no chance of winning. But if we put it on him, great. That's what we all want. If we underthrow him, at least we give an opportunity for us to fight back into the guy, all right, that's in trail and get a PI. But if we overthrow him, we're cooked. We're absolutely cooked. We cannot do that. All right? So we got all these dudes running straight naked in our back end as a defense, and we can't hit them. We can't hit them. So until they can do that, I don't know what they're going to do. But I do see Heupel at least morphing some, right? I see him getting into 2 tight sets. I see him, all right, we're gonna run lean on defense. All right. I see Halsey getting into his bag as a run game coordinator route now, right? I see super counter. I see them pull 3 guys. Down block 3, pull 3. AKA super counter. Hits for 45, 50 yards down the sideline. Incredible play, right? I see a football staff that is working to patch their holes right now. I see them adapting quite a bit. If it were me, I'd find a happy medium. I'd find a happy medium between we're going to play conservative, run the football, punt the ball, protect the ball, defense, and we're just going to hope that our deep shots start to hit. All right, I would find the happy medium there. I would not go one way or the other. I would not be so hard-headed as to believe that we're just going to do what we do and it's going to eventually work out, all right? And I would find a happy medium between that and, hey, we're just going to give up on it. We're going to concede. We're going to morph our entire offense to figure out all of our deficiencies right now. Find a happy medium, and I think Saturday's football game was an exact example of that. Let's talk about Alabama from a football perspective. I done cooked what's going on right now culturally, all that goofy word and terminology. Earn the right to play like a confident, great team. That's what I would tell you. Let's talk about the actual football, though. They can't run the football effectively without number 4. They can't do it. 20 attempts for 64 yards were Haynes and Miller on Saturday. They cannot find a consistent run game outside of Jalen Milroe's legs. And it's interesting to me because and football coaches, listen to this right now. Please contact me on this because I want to have a genuine football discussion, all right? Because at UW, right, at Washington last year, DeBoer and Ryan Grubb were a wide zone football team. They were a stretch zone football team. They were we're going to play with wide splits. We're going to have this athletic unit block on angles, stretch, get defenses moving horizontally, and we're going to have Johnson press them vertically, stick his foot in the ground. We'll try to hit. I saw pins and wraps, AKA folds. I saw all kinds of different run schemes last year from Washington that were predicated off of angles and athleticism from the offensive line. All right? But no quarterback run. All right? And I've already pointed out on this channel all the differences between the athletic profiles of what DeBoer wants to recruit as offensive line, what he currently has. They're a lot bigger. They're a lot road gradery, right? They look like Book. They look like Booker. They look like 77. They're bigger. They look like Caden Proctor. They don't look like 72, Brailsford. They just got there. That's what he wants. That's what he's always had. But here's my football discussion. I got sidetracked here. Here's my football discussion. Can you be a wide zone running attack, right? Like what they did at UW last year, where it's all angles and folds and stretches and press, stretch, boom, right? Can you be that and be a quarterback run football team? Because as long as I've studied football, I don't know of an example of this. Okay, a football team that wants to use their quarterback's legs while also maintaining a wide zone, stretch zone identity of a football team in a run scheme. Okay, think about it, guys. My football folks, the Shanahans of the world, the McVays of the world. Okay, Missouri now, right, running the wide zone. Texas right now, running some wide zone. None of these football teams incorporate the quarterback's legs off of those wide zone stretches because most of them are deep boot rollout teams. Most of them are, they just don't use the quarterback's legs other than to roll him. So I wonder, once we decide and make the decision, we are going to be a quarterback design run game, right? We're going to have quarterback powers. We're going to have power reads. We're going to have quarterback buck sweep. We're going to have all these quarterback-oriented runs. Do we eliminate the ability to be a wide zone football team? That's my question to you because history says yes. History says no one's trying to do it. All right, and here's why this matters. Okay, why can't Kalen DeBoer get a traditional run game going right now? Well, he's having to have a traditional run game that he's never had, right? He's never had a designed quarterback run. He's never had it. He's always been predicated off of wide zone and gap schemes, stretch schemes and all these different things, folds and all this stuff that was predicated off of a pro-style offense with my quarterback's going to kill everyone from the pocket quarterback. All right, so yeah, he has found ways to get Milroe to be an evolved runner of the football. All right, but I think it's hindered some of his traditional run schemes, and this is a problem for them. All right, I got more to talk about with this Bama offense in terms of problems. Let's talk about Milroe right quick. Clearly not seeing it. And by the way, on this channel, if you can find a single solitary quote of this guy or any of those two dudes over there that normally sit here with us talking about, man, been a tremendous amount of growth from a processor standpoint from Jalen Milroe at any point this season, I don't know. I'll give you $1. I'll give you $1 because we've talked about it. There ain't been much. Oh, look, he just went from 1 to 2 to 3 to check down, or from 1 to 2's kind of tight window throw. I'm going to rip it anyways. Or they're showing one look pre-snap. Let me confirm it post-snap. Let me make a good decision. There ain't been a lot of progression from that standpoint. In fact, what we've talked about on this network is most of the progression from this guy has come from the design run game, which is the coach doing the progression for him. There has not been any development from a fundamental pocket passer standpoint, and you saw that again on Saturday. Here's my other thing. I know Ryan Williams is great, but 19 targets. And we talked about DeBoer playing outside of his mold in the run game and having to do so because of this guy. We would all agree Rome Odunze is pretty freaking great, right? I think we'll all agree that Rome Odunze, real good. Ryan Williams, real good. Real good. I don't recall Washington's offense last year at all being like, oh, that's cool. They got that Penix guy and they got that Odunze guy. Let's see if they can win this football game today. You guys at times, Georgia or Alabama looks like the southeastern version of what Arizona's got going on right now. We got McMillan. We got Fafita. Let's see if we can win today. You're a great coordinator. Why are you not coordinating? 19 attempts, most of which are just, hey, can this guy win a 50-50 ball against that McCoy guy today? No, he can't. Some of them were misses by Milroe. You obviously know that, but like some serious self-scouting has to be going on right now on Alabama's offense too. Because I see football teams the last 2 weeks that are teeing off on these guys. South Carolina did it to them, and I know why. They got great edge rushers, and they can do that. They're aggressive. They got great defensive backs, veteran groups. I understand why they can do that. They're a great defense, okay? But Tennessee, and I know they're great too, but Tennessee teed off on you as well. Like hunted you and played with ultimate decisiveness on the defensive side of the football. Watch how those defenders clicked on their reads, okay? Watch how fast they're coming downhill. Watch how decisive they are with their movements. And you tell me they weren't prepared. Tell me that. All right. And what I would ultimately think is at this point, they've probably got some type of tendencies. The defenses are seeing something that they know, right? We watched Wisconsin. We're like, oh, if they go to empty, they're running draw or they're taking shots. That's all they do. There's no screens out of that. There's no, motion the back in and do some fun stuff with orbit. No. If they run the running back out of the backfield, they're either taking a shot right now or they're running a quarterback draw. That's it. So, like, they've got to get rid of these tendencies. Now, we move on. Okay, I could sit here and excuse it. He is new. It is all new. He just got there. Okay, January. Just got there. So it's going to have growing pains. Vastly different than the last guy. You're going to have growing pains. Okay. Let's talk about Tennessee, because we have Tennessee fans in here, and I'm sure there's a lot of them watching, and I got some good things to tell you about your football team right now, because I've been really, really impressed. I think, and here's why. Watching Josh Heupel find ways to win with what is obviously a deficient roster right now. Sure, they're really good, but they're not perfect. They're by far not even close. They got a lot of holes, a lot of deficiencies. They're banged up at wide receiver. They can't really protect. They can't really run the ball successfully in terms of, unless Dylan Sampson does great shit. Okay, defensive backs at times can give up 50-50 explosive balls. Like, they have a lot of consistent week in, week out holes. And he's finding ways to win football games, dude. He's finding ways to win football games consistently, okay, and win them tight, and win them with defense, and win them with running the football, and winning them with not turning it over, and winning them with game management and complementary football. And, like, guys, great football coaches find ways to have a good football team when the roster is bad, right? That's as simple as I can possibly put it. And this guy, say what you want, right? They lost the game at Arkansas, and that's not ideal, right? But this dude has this football team in the thick of it, ready to go in a college football playoff hunt, 9 weeks into the college football season, okay, with obvious holes on his roster, and doing it in a different way than he normally is accustomed to doing. So I'm impressed. Run the ball, play defense, hope the passing game can ultimately figure it out if you're a Tennessee fan or if you're Josh Heupel, right? Hopefully you'll start hitting some of these shots, because in reality, you're missing 50-yard bombs by 3 inches. Eventually that 3 inches might come back your way. Hey, yo,